Hello everybody, my name is Cogline3639. Welcome back to another video. Today on this one is going to be my Yu-Gi-Oh! Banlist prediction for the September 2022 list. At least I think it's September. Who knows if it actually comes out this month. But yeah, so in this video we'll be just going over some of my thoughts on the cards that I think will be banned, limited, and stuff like that. But also in this one we are doing a tier list type of video because I feel like we can go through a lot more cards that way. And then, you know, being able just to slot them in where I think I should put them and stuff like that is very nice as well. But so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alrighty, now on to the tier list itself. As you can see, we have a lot of cards to go through here. So I'm going to try to do as fast as possible, just give my opinions on a lot of these cards and where I think it should be going to. So without further ado, let's start with the list here. Triple Tactic Talent is perfectly fine. It should not be going anywhere. It's a powerful card for sure, but I don't think it needs to go anywhere else here because it's honestly perfectly fine as a going first and second card. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't need to go anywhere. Super Poly. This is interesting because it probably should be limited or banned, but I think they're going to keep it at 3 specifically because Garura is in Power of the Elements and they just printed that. They just printed Power of the Elements, so they probably don't want to hit the card that's selling Garura right now. So I think they're going to keep this at 3. It's also just a nice going second board breaker, and to make sure, you know, your opponent doesn't set up too crazy and stuff like that. But yes, a card that definitely could be banned or limited as well. But just right now, I just don't think they're going to hit it this list. Maybe in the next list, but just not this list. There can only be one. If you actually play the current format, this is perfectly fine. This doesn't really do anything, honestly. Like, if you throw this against Splight, Splight will easily still play through this. This is not that hard for them to play through. So there can only be one. Doesn't actually do much, so I feel like this will just stay at 3. Honestly, I think there's only like one floodgate you can really argue to hit this list, and we'll get to it once we get to it. Brilliant Fusion. This is banned and probably can go to 1 to get the new support for the Gem Knights and Power of the Elements and give them a little bit more support with the unbanning of this card. But the only thing, this is not going to shoot up Gem Knights or anything like that. I feel like this is a card that's going to come off, people are going to play the deck for a week, realize it's shit, and then just never play the deck again. So I feel like this can go to 1 and be perfectly fine. Anti-Spell Fragrance. This is an interesting one. It probably should be limited, but they just reprinted the card, and also it's kind of your one and only out to Mystic Mine right now. So I feel like they're going to keep this at 3 for the foreseeable future, considering they just reprinted the card. So I don't think they're going to ban it or just hit it in any way, shape, or form just yet. And Danglong, nah, I think Danglong needs to stay banned. I don't know if taking it off is the right thing. It's a very powerful card, especially with Sword Soul still being at full power with the Tenyis, so absolutely probably should still stay banned. I know a lot of people want this to come off and just to see what the deck can do. I don't think it should. I feel like it should just stay banned right now. Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. Again, I feel like this is a card that can probably go to 1, but are they really going to, you know, unban Electromite? They really should. I really think they should consider Electromite. They've been taking off a lot of the Pendulum cards recently, but I can see why they don't, because if you give all this unbanning to the Pendulum and then give them Electromite on top of it, it could be something to worry about. But I feel like if you just give them Electromite right now and keep all the Pendulum cards where they're currently at, it could just make it like a good maybe rogue to tier 2.5 around there. I don't think it would be the best deck, but I don't think it'd be the worst deck either. I think it probably could go to 1 and be fine. Fairy Tale Snow. This card is currently limited, and you know what? They probably should ban this card again. This card is absolutely insane. It's like so dumb. It was actually weird it came off in the first place. And now this whole format, especially with the punks running around with Terror Elements, has been just showing that Snow has been a problem. Like, holy crap, this card is just, not only does it Book a Moon, it also just a free special summon that's not once per turn. If you're playing like Branded, you can, you know, make sure your Branded cards go through from non-targeting by activating Snow and stuff. This is an insane card that probably should be rebanned because this card is just too powerful. And even that Book of Moon effect is not great, but against the right deck, it actually could hurt. If you like Book of Moon, a normal summon with Splight, all of a sudden they don't have a level 2 unfill for them to special summon. So Snow, I think they should probably reban this card. Goes in match, again, perfectly fine. I feel like they're going to keep this at 3. Really has not the worst floodgate to deal with right now. There's no point to hit it. Pot of Desires, this probably will go back to 3 because don't know why they ever limited it in the first place, but I guess they wanted to hit Sword Soul without hitting Sword Soul when they limited it. Went to 2 last list, and it probably will go back to 3 this list because, again, not that many people are playing Desires, but Desires is a powerful card in and out of itself. Shooting Riser Dragon. This is limited, and this was like the shock of the list besides like Change of Heart coming off. Why was this card ever limited? There's no point for this card to be on the limit list. It's fine at unlimited. It's not even seeing play that much anymore. I think the only deck that really plays this is like Dragon Link, and that's literally it. So yeah, this can go to 3. Absolutely no problem. Dimension Shifter. This is one of the few hand traps where you can argue that could get hit because that macro for 2 turns does hurt. But the reason why they won't hit it, I feel like they're going to keep this at unlimited, is that not that many decks can use D-Shifter. Because a lot of decks can't play through D-Shifter. There's only like Flunder and like some rogue decks that can play D-Shifter and not have a problem with it. Besides that, all the meta decks need their graveyards, or they're not going to be playing D-Shifter themselves. So yes, this will probably stay at 3. This is a card to look out for when the Yugioh elements come out as well. This might be a good hand trap to consider in that format, and maybe in the next list they consider hitting it. But in this list, there's no point for it to hit. Halqifibrax. Oh boy. So this card is currently limited, and it probably should be banned. To be honest with you, it probably needs to be banned. This card is way too powerful. But here's the thing. The Konami TCG just does not want to hit this card for shit. They had the perfect opportunity last list to ban this card, but instead they banned Auroradon and just gave a smack in the face, or smack on the hand on Halqifibrax by just limiting it. For me, that last list was the perfect time to hit Hulk, and they didn't. So for me, I think they really want Hulk to be in the game, and I don't know why. This card is so powerful. It does need to be banned, but I just don't think they're going to do it. Honestly, I just don't think they're going to hit Hulk. Especially this list, because like it's not seeing as much play as it did in the last format. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like this should still be a banned card, because this card is really dumb. It really is. Swap Frog is not a problem. There's no point for this to get hit whatsoever. I think Toad is more the problem. Scarlet, again, it's fine. It's more the floodgates that's the problem, not Outledge itself. Jackalope, it's at 1, and it probably should stay at 1 just because Danger Terror element is running around right now. So giving them more dangers is probably not a good idea, especially Jackalope, that's being able to special summon a danger from deck if it's discarded. So again, not they probably shouldn't do anything. Probably should just stay at 1. Mystic Mine. Now this is the interesting one. Where do I have Mystic Mine? If you already seen my Mystic Mine video, you know I want this card banned. I feel like this card needs to be banned. This card is so much of a problem. But you can argue it could just go to 1 and probably be a fine. But I'm just not a fan of Saki 1-ofs. A lot of people can argue unlimited. Again, this is a very decisive card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. Like, it seems like half the community wants it hit, and the other half just play the out to it, bro. But, I don't know. This card, I feel like even on the field for, like, 3 turns, it's very game-changing. I feel like this card should be banned. This card is way too powerful, especially after Rio de Janeiro, where the Mystic Mine Burn deck won Rio, which is very, very interesting. I think it should be a banned card. Sekka's Light. Now, this is interesting. This can probably go to 3 and be fine, but I don't think they're going to take it off the limit list. Just because they don't want the monster-heavy decks to have a free Pot of Greed. So they just want to keep it limited just to make sure this card doesn't see play. Because this is basically a free Pot of Greed if you don't play any other spells. So I can see him keeping it at 1, even though it probably should be fine at 3. Beatrice. Now this can go, I feel like can go to the semi-limited list. I feel like right now it's currently limited, and the only deck that really plays it is Drytron and like Burning Abyss, if you're still playing Burning Abyss in the year of our Lord 2022. But this can probably go to 2, just make sure it's like, okay, let's bring it to 2. Let's see if it gets abused at 2. It probably won't, and then next list will go to 3. No point for this to be on the limit list right now. I feel like it can go to the semi-limited and be perfectly fine. Thunder Dragon Colossus. Now, I want this card to be limited just to see what it can do with this list. But this card is very, very, very powerful right now. Any Thunder Monster activated in hand gets this effect going, and there is a Thunder Monster that getting played in Master Duel right now that gets Colossus out. I feel like that would be a problem in the TCG, so I feel like they probably will just keep it banned, but putting it to 1 and just seeing what happened would be very interesting, but I feel like this card should probably stay on the ban list just for now. Maybe later in the future it can come off. Griffin Rider is perfectly fine. That is not the problem with that engine. Emergency Teleport. Now, this should probably get re-limited because this card is very dumb with the Punk engine, which is very interesting because they brought E-Tele off because of the Punk engine and giving it more support. And now I feel like they should limit it just because of how powerful that Punk engine really is. Being able to just have a free special summon of Zayadmin from the deck that's not once per turn, so if you draw multiple of them, you can activate them, which is very insane. I feel like it's, special summoning it instead of adding it to hand is even more powerful. So, I don't know. This card should probably go to 1 again. This card is way too powerful. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that. Papega Ruler, or Chaos Ruler. If they hit E-Tele, then this is perfectly fine to be at 3. That's only if they hit the Punk engine somehow, they limit Emergency Teleport or they hit Zayadmin, which they're not going to do. The most likely hit will be Emergency Teleport. Chaos Roller is perfectly fine. This is a bannable card, I will give you that, but I think right now they're just not going to hit this card whatsoever. I think they want this in their game, so I feel like this will just stay at 3 for the future. Ben 10, surprisingly, this will probably go back to 3. It's currently doing really nothing in the semi-limited list, which was surprising because a lot of people saw Ben 10 go to 2 and that's very interesting. But, with the Ava being banned, yeah, it makes sense for Ben 10 to go back to 3. It's not really doing much. It is a powerful card and probably something you do have to worry about, but I think it'll probably be fine at 3. Salamangreat Gazelle. Now, this can probably go to 2. I think they did this in Master Duel. Probably can go to 2. I think this is the only Salamangreat card left on the ban list. It's currently limited. I feel like this can go to 2. Just give it some, room. Let's see what it can do at 2, and then bring it off to 3 in the next list. Zodiac Dryden. Now, the interesting thing is that they really do hate Zodiacs, and it's currently banned. This probably can go to 1, but I feel like they're going to keep it banned just because Zeus is that much of a problem. So having the Zodiacs, especially with Tanky at 2 right now, and most likely going to 3 in the next list. Tanky ain't here, that's why I'm saying that. They'll probably keep this card banned just for that reason. But it probably can go to 1, but just the Zeus thing being able to happen, I feel like Dryden will still stay banned. Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. It's fine at 1. You know what? A year ago, I said this card probably should never come off the ban list. You know what? I was wrong. I'll take it. It's going to 1 is fine. It's a powerful card, but it's not game-breakingly bad. But putting it to 2 or 3, I feel like that would change, especially with Sky Striker getting their new support in November. I feel like this is a card that should stay at 1 for a long time. I feel like it's a very powerful card that Sky Strikers have ways to keep adding it back to hand. So being at 1, I think, is perfectly fine right now. Should go nowhere else. Monkey Board is at 1. Probably will go to 2. It's doing nothing at 1. They'll probably put it back to 2 and just see what happens. Electromite, getting off might change that, but I feel like right now it's doing nothing at 1. He'll probably go to 2 next list. Dynamite, it's at 2, probably will go to 3, because again, it's doing nothing in the semi-limited list. Probably go back to 3 and it wouldn't do anything. Totally Awesome. Yeah, this is the interesting pick here. So if you do not want to hit Splight, you're probably going to keep this at 3. That's what I think they're going to do. They don't want to hit Splight right now because it just came out. So they're probably going to keep this at unlimited just so it still sees play in Splight. They could limit it, but that doesn't really change anything. But so keeping it at 3 is perfectly fine. But you can also make an argument if you want to hit Sprite straight away, you probably can ban this card. But Sprite ain't a tier 0 deck right now like it was in the OCG. So I feel like this card will actually just stay at 3 for this list. Maybe in the next list it can change, especially with the Shizu Terror elements. It might change if they actually hit this card or not. So right now, I don't think they're going to hit it. I think they're going to keep it at 3 just to keep Sprite selling from Power of the Elements. The Snake, this is maybe more arguable to come off the limited list, but again, Danger Terror Element just running around. I just don't think they should bring this card off. I feel like this is the one danger that you could move the semi-limited list and be perfectly fine, because if it's discarded, you only get to special summon in I think you just special itself. That's all it does from the graveyard. So, like, it isn't great. Something like Jackalope where you can just summon any danger from the deck. So, like, this is the one danger you can argue can come off. But I feel like at limit it should be fine. Just because the Danger Terror Element deck is running around. Dark Ruler No More. It's perfectly fine. I don't think it should be going anywhere. People are playing outs to this card by playing like Solemn Judge inside deck or playing a Pointer of the Red Lotus. They're also playing around Dark Ruler, so if they do get Dark Ruler No More, they still have ways to interrupt the opponent. So like this is perfectly fine at 3. It should not be going anywhere. Astrograph Sorcerer. Again, if Electromite comes off, I feel like they need to keep this at 1. But if Electromite does not come off, then this is perfectly fine to go to 2. Because it's, again, doing nothing at 1. So perfectly fine to probably go to 2. Red Reboot. Now, this is a very bannable card. But I feel like against Floodgates, I feel like you do have to keep this in your metagame. If you're going to keep Floodgates in your metagame, I feel like you do have to keep Red Reboot. For that reason, even if it is limited and you don't see it that much, I feel like banning it would just help the Floodgates even more than, helping, yes, it fucks Outledge, but like, it's because of the Floodgates. People are playing Floodgates in combo decks now, so like, you have to have that Red Reboot in your side deck at all times, so I feel like this card needs to stay legal for that reason. Harpy's Featherstorm is a very bannable card, but it will not get banned. They will not touch this card whatsoever. The only like opportunity they had was like in Lyralist Tri-Brigade when that deck was running around. I feel like in that list that was their best chance to ban this card, but they did not ban this card. So and right now the only deck that can take advantage of this is Flundereeze, and Flundereeze ain't tier 1, so I feel like they're not going to touch this card whatsoever. It is a bannable card, but I don't think they're going to touch it whatsoever. Maxi, this thing needs to die in hell. If you think it can go to limited or whatever, you are wrong. You know what? For the, bad person in me, I just wanted to see it go to 1. See what fucking happens. But no. This card needs to die in hell. This card never should have been printed, and it needs to stay on the ban list forever. Never, ever should this card come off the list, ever. Artifact Scythe. Yeah, this probably needs to get banned. It's not seeing that much play right now, but this is still just a degenerate card that should not exist. I feel like, the last list, they probably should have banned it. But I feel like this list, they need to ban it as well. Just because Scythe is just that much of a powerhouse. Playing around, it's just dumb. I don't think they should play. I don't think this card should be legal in this format. So yes, I think it should be banned. Sword Soul Emergence. Now, a lot of people think they're going to hit Sword Soul this list because it did win the North American Nationals. I don't think they necessarily do. Like, if you really look at the guy's list, it was more because he was main decking Rivalry and main decking Mystic Mine. So, like, and those cards are degenerate themselves. So, like, I feel like Emergence is perfectly fine. I don't think they should hit Sword Soul in any ways. I feel like the problem cards are Mystic Mine and is Rivalry and stuff like that. But, again, the Sword Soul engine itself, I don't think should be hit because, again, it's not as powerful as the current decks are right now. Masterpiece. They probably shouldn't take this off yet just because this is a Floodgate type of deck and we are dealing that with Outledge. Imagine this comes off. Imagine dealing with an unaffected body plus Floodgates. Like, you just don't want to deal with that. So I feel like they're just going to keep this on the ban list for that reason. Kieran, this is banned. Probably can go to 1. I feel like Kieran is a very powerful card, but it's not as powerful as it used to be, especially in this metagame. This can go to 1 and be perfectly fine, I think. And it gives, a little bit more support to the Pendulum players. That grass looks greener. Have you read Terror Element? No, this card should not come off the list. Absolutely should not come off the list. This card is very, 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 very powerful. I guess, again, you do have to play a 60-card deck for it to work. But, like, no, even if this goes to 1, like, grass just is so powerful. Like, this card would just become that Saki one of. And then, yes, it is ashable, and you can play things like Left Arm Offering that bench. Again, this does get hit by Ash a lot, but, like, this card should just stay banned. I don't think it's that much. I don't think it should come off whatsoever right now. Title. This is one of the few Dragon Rulers I feel like needs to stay banned. I feel like Blaster and Redox can come off and be at the limited list, but Title is that one interesting Dragon Ruler I feel like needs to stay banned. And specifically because Rhino Heart exists. This being able to either send Rhino Heart or Swap Frog, because Swap Frog is in the metagame right now, or Rodent Totem because it's a water. That just being able to just be very, very dumb. I don't think that it should be able to happen. So, like, again, this is the one Dragon Ruler I think needs to stay banned just for right now, because that Foolish Burial of a water monster is very, very good and should not be able to do that. So, yeah, I think it should stay banned. Spellbook of Judgment, I feel like this can come off to 1, like they did in the OCG. I don't think this is going to do much in this metagame, so putting it to 1 would be nice just to see it. Maybe players play it for the first week, but again, I don't feel like it's going to dominate the meta or whatsoever, so I feel like that can come off to 1. Tomias, same thing. I feel like this can go to 1. I feel it was banned because you can make Cyber Dragon Infinity with that, but like, have you looked at the current metagame? 1 Omni Negate is not enough to stop your opponent, so this probably can come off to 1. The only problem with it is it does have a skip turn effect that might come up, but you need a lot of materials for it to happen, so I don't think it's going to be that much. I feel like this can come off and be perfectly fine. Branded Fusion is fine. I know this is a free Foolish Burial, basically any monster, but I feel like it's fine. I feel like the one card you do hit out of Branded is maybe like Branded Opening. But yeah, Branded Opening ain't on here. I feel like that's like the one card out of Branded you could hit because it does support Terror Elements in a way. That's like the one card I think out of Branded you could limit and it'd be perfectly fine. Branded Fusion itself I don't think needs to be limited at all. Burying Statues of the Storm Winds. They're not going to do anything to this card. Again, Flunder is not seeing that much play right now. Again, it is a bannable card, but if you ban this card, like, Flunder is just dead. They have nothing going for them. This is the only card that makes Flunder unbearable. Any other card in Flunder you can deal with. But yes, they're not going to hit this card at all. This is perfectly fine. Drone Lockbird, again, is perfectly fine at 3. Does not need to get hit. For 2 reasons. One, I mean, it's a necessary evil if your deck dies to Droll. I mean, I'm sorry. And even if it does die to Droll, you can probably still do some plays. And 2, Droll's not seeing that much play right now. And it just got reprinted, so really shouldn't be going anywhere. Solemn Judgment, again, perfectly fine at 3. Doesn't really need to go anywhere. Called by the Grave. Oh boy, this is an interesting card. This is a bannable card for sure. It's a very bannable card. Holy crap. I love Called by the Grave, but like, oh yeah, it's a very, very powerful card. It's a sacky one of, and I feel like it is a bannable card for that fact. But I don't think they're going to ban it this list. I don't think they're going to ban it. I feel like they're going to keep it at 1 and keep it there for now. Oh, Lion. Now, this should still stay banned. Even if they ban Hulk, I feel like you shouldn't take off O-Lion on the same list. Maybe if you ban Hulk and then next list take off O-Lion, that's fine. But I don't feel like they're going to bring off O-Lion next list, even if they ban Hulk. O-Lion is a very powerful card in out of itself. So I feel like this card will stay banned for this list at least. Orcust Harp Horror. I feel like this can go to 1. I know this is a little risky because there's a lot of milling decks right now. And there is a Dingirsu, or not Dingirsu, Gearsu, or the fucking level 4 that can level 4 Mech Knight monster that can Foolish Burial an Orcust monster. That card never existed while Harp Horror was legal. So that is interesting, but I feel like Harp Horror can go to 1. It'd be powerful, but it wouldn't be, you know, game-changingly powerful. Plush Fire. This is banned. Interesting. This probably can go to 1. But yeah, this could probably go to 1. I know they've been taking a lot of Pendulum cards off and stuff, so this can be like their next Pendulum card they take off, and like I can see it. Like, this is interesting. Yeah, let's just put it in the limited list for now. Quick launch. Dragon Link is doing nothing. It's perfectly fine. Oh, the Brave package is very, very interesting. Yeah, this is interesting because in the last format, during like the Nationals Season 4 North America, this was a very powerful engine in that. So that could indicate that they want to hit this, but it's not really seeing that much play now. So I'm going to say either both of them get semi-limited, or Rite of Aramesir stays at 3 and they limit Water Enchantress. That's also a fine hit there. I feel like that's probably the better of the two, making sure you only have one Water Enchantress and keeping right at 3. I feel like that's probably better, and I feel like they should probably do that. Rivalry of Warlords. This is the one floodgate I feel like they might hit this list, because Rivalry is very, very powerful, and I feel like this is the only floodgate you can argue that should go to 1. A lot of floodgates should go to 1, but this is the one that Konami might have on their radar right now. So yeah, I feel like this probably could go to 1, and it would solve a lot of things. Mystic Mine being banned, Rivalry being at 1, that could be very, very interesting. Skill Drain, it's fine at 3. It really is doing nothing at 3. Surprisingly, a lot of decks can play around Skill Drain. Master Plan, no, this still needs to stay banned, I think. Servant of Endymion, this is at 1. Probably can go to 2, I would say. I feel like this could probably go to 2 and just see what it can do at 2. And then Trickstar Light Stage is at 2. We'll probably go to 3 in the next list there. So that is my tier list there. Yeah, very interesting. I feel like I had a lot of things to go through, so this is going to be a long video, but I got a lot of my opinions out, I think. I feel like Rivalry and Mystic Mine probably is the biggest hit. Snow should probably get rebanned. Hulk needs to get banned, but who knows if they actually hit it. The Brave package, I feel like they just limit Enchantress. It'll be perfectly fine where it's at. And then everything else was kind of just me just like giving my opinions and stuff like that. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.